Hi everybody, Ray Hayden here, and this video is about the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. So there's what the camera looks like, all right? And then there's the name of it right there. It's the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. Very, very, very specific because they make other cameras, but this is the one I'm talking about in this here video. Now, before I go into that, let me go ahead and give you my shameless plug for my channel. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up, like this video, make a comment below, let me know you came by to say hi. And if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate the growth on the network, and it's how we survive as YouTube creators. So let's get into the situation here. I have a USB-C cable, USB-C, which is plugged into the back of the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite, and that comes over here. This is a coupler between the two wires. This is a 6-foot wire. We're really not supposed to go more than 3 feet with USB, right? Unless we have something else going on in between. This is another, this is actually the one that's connected up to the camera. This other one's plugged into my laptop computer. I'm just gonna hang this here gently. Hopefully I don't do any damage to it. And you can see the laptop on the bottom of the camera image there. Let's kind of bend down here and take a look at it. And I'm gonna use one of the commands, my motorcycle helmet, and the camera, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell I'll tell the camera, oh, so it locked in there. I don't want the camera moving around. So if I move one way or the other, that's one of the things I love about the camera. You can say, hey, stop tracking me and stay focused on what I want you to be focused on, and it'll do that. Now, it might make minor adjustments here and there, and that would be great too, but that's fine. So here's my laptop computer. So let's go through this setup right here, and we'll go through the connections that are going on. This gray wire, of course, comes up and around, and this is the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite camera connection. So that's what connects this up to the laptop computer. The other thing that you see here is a kind of a purplish thing. That's a USB thumb drive. Okay, so it's a USB thumb drive, and it uses USB-A. And then, so that's plugged into a USB-A slot. There's a black wire back here, and that is a USB power input. So this particular laptop uses a USB-C input. And that's really great for me because to me, that makes it portable. Otherwise, I have to have other types of power and power converters and stuff like that. And I'll get on that in a minute. So that gives me options, the USB-C thing. And this laptop not being such a high range, high level laptop opens up more windows to where I don't have to be so worried about it as I would with a gaming laptop, for example. Now this connection over here there's a black T-shaped thing. That is the receiver for this microphone. The other part of it is a silver adapter, and that takes the USB-C input from my receiver and allows me to use the USB-A slot 3.0 on this side to capture the audio. So this, doing my little microphone test, should be the microphone that's picking all this up. Now, as you can see, it's a laptop screen, so it's a huge viewfinder as opposed to the viewfinder built into the front-facing camera of our smartphones, which I also use quite often depending on the type of video that I want to make. Let me go ahead and put this back in the tracking me mode here. All right, and we'll stand up, and that should track up pretty nicely. That's excellent. So the tracking capability to turn on and turn off tracking relatively simply and have the camera identify it, and also to zoom in and zoom out. Let's do a little zoom in here. Let's see if we get the zoom in going, right? And then I won't punish you long. I'll zoom back out, right? And let's talk about that. The setup that I just showed you, because the power supply to the laptop is such that it can, I can use a substantial battery brick. Right? Not just your regular one you might charge up your smartphone in 20 minutes or something like that, but it's a more powerful, more substantial battery bank, right? And I have like 5 of these things, and they're pretty big, they're pretty heavy, but still very, very portable. And they allow me to take the power, because once the power gets into my laptop, it gets distributed everywhere else. It gets distributed to my wireless microphone, gets distributed out to the camera, and also runs itself. Now, the battery brick should maintain the laptop to its full capacity of power. So basically recharging the laptop while it's using it. Most cameras don't do that. The front-facing camera on our smartphone, if we put a battery brick up to that, we can recharge it while it's working. Even if we're using one of these wireless microphone things that little receiver right there has a USB-C in the side of one of the T's, like a hammerhead shark. One of those has a USB-C in it. And if we plug a power brick into that, we'll get the wireless microphone into our video, and we'll also recharge our smartphone all the whole while. The smartphone will drain the battery brick while it's recharging itself, while it's recording video for us at the same time. And I just think that's fantastic. A laptop computer such as this one here with a USB-C power input will do the same exact thing. So let's talk about what blew my mind about the 4K, and they're not kidding, it's 4K 30p OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite camera. Is, well, the first thing that caught my attention is the price, and I'm like, okay, price points are all over the place on webcam, so tell me more. First thing it told me was, hey, by the way, it's 4K. I see 4K all the time, and I got to tell you, for me as a professional videographer, 4K means video. You can say 28K if you're not talking video. It's really not 28K or whatever else you might want to be pushing. But 4K to me means video. I don't care about still pictures. Still pictures are fine and everything else. Tell me the other number that is the resolution of your still image. Don't say 4K. 4K to me means video. They're not kidding on this particular camera. The OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is solid. 4K, 30 frames per second, and this laptop can record that. So it records it. Even though the screen itself can't see that, the video looks very good when I review it on the screen. The audio sounds good when I review it from the screen, and everything's fine. Let me talk about that purple thing that's in there, is that USB thumb drive. What I do is I shoot the video in camera. As a matter of fact, come on back down here again. Like, take a look at the screen. This is not the OBSBOT Center software, okay? For being out there in the field and everything else, and me to use the OBSBOT Center software, that would be like being I need another person to run the camera kind of thing for me. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Well, Windows 11, Windows 10 has it, but Windows 11 does as well, has the camera app. And the camera app, because the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite has additional functionality, that additional functionality will show up in our side panel here, okay? So I can just go in here. This is a red light for recording. So I'm recording this video right now into this laptop, and I have additional functionality that I can use before I start recording to set that up how I want to do it. And that's all because the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite has that functionality built right into it. So, you know, when I tell the thing to follow me or track me or to zoom in or zoom out, that's all the camera doing that all by itself, with the understanding of what the hand gestures are and what they mean and what to do and all that. So that's great. But I take the video, I take it off of the laptop, and I put it into my more substantial desktop computer that does my video editing and things like that. And that's what I'll be doing with this. But I just wanted to mention that about that. That's not even the software, it's not the OBSBOT Center software. I'm just using camera, and everything just works, and it just works great, and it just works without me having to do anything special. And that's exactly what we need to be kind of like guerrilla video. Back in the day, they used to call it the run and gun kind of thing. You're running out, you're getting a shot, and you're getting back to the office, do the editing that you need to do, and pump out your video. And that, for workflow, for us as videographers, the workflow is very simple, it's very smooth, and if you can get the job done that way, I would highly recommend the OBSBOT Tiny 2 camera, in addition to the front-facing camera on your smartphone. And if you have an action cam for still shots or whatever like that, not still images, but a shot that's not moving, like I'm moving and the camera's got to follow me kind of thing. So other than that, if you want a still shot or B-roll, as you might call it, then yeah, you have a couple of action cameras, which are also affordable, but not as affordable as the OBSBOT Tiny 2. And with the right setup, you can get the job done. This is the tripod. This is not the tripod, but it's one very much similar to the one that the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is on. Has a quick release plate, has the capability for me to attach it directly to the quick release plate, and that's the exact same type of connection that it has on it. This is a very lightweight tripod. This one here has a handle on it, right? And then the OBSBOT Tiny 2 can sit there. Now, if I extend the legs out, there is a hook here on this, and that most of them have a hook on them these days. But the tripod has has a hook on it, and I could take a bag like this, just so it has enough airflow through it, so the battery doesn't get too hot, and I could just hang this underneath the thing. So I stretch the legs out, and I have a battery pack here. The battery pack will be strong enough to power up the laptop. and the laptop gets the power out to the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite, to my wireless microphone, and it and of course the laptop itself, and keeps everything going just with a substantial battery brick. If I need a bigger one that doesn't quite fit in the bag kind of thing, I can set it up on even a rock underneath the tripod just to get it up off the ground and to keep heat dissipating from the battery brick, and you're cooking with gas. Now I want to wrap this up on that note, but I want to wrap it up with this. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, make that comment below. Ask me the questions about my setups, what I do, how I do it, and why I do it that way. Feel free to do that. I like to interact with people and let them know what's going on, what I really love about this camera, and what I really love about the video opportunities that it presents to us. All right. And I think that the OBSBOT company is going to come out with additional things that make this, they can do it with this camera. I can see engineering ways how to do it with the camera as it is now, because to me right now, that camera's like, man, that's perfect right there, right? There's very little that they would even have to engineer around that. You know, it's some kind of handle or something, or a cage or something to make this thing super duper portable, even more so than me bringing a laptop with me or a smartphone. Feel free to ask me about that too. Maybe I'll drop a picture in the comments below if I can on YouTube and see, you know, you see that I can make this thing very small and very portable. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up with, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like the video, make that comment below, let me know you came by to say hi, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate the growth on the network, and it is how we survive as YouTube creators. Thank you very much. Until I see you in the next video, take care and be well.